What is up, Nerd Nation? It's your boy Hunt here from Film Nerd TV, and I am here with my co-host Russell Howell. How's it going, man?
It's going good, man. Glad to get this up and running again, and yeah, we're looking forward to talking about Uncut Gems.
Oh yes, Uncut Gems. This is a very spoiler-heavy video, so if you have not seen this movie, turn this off, save on watch later, and then come back and enjoy the spoiler discussion with us. This movie is directed by, is it the Safdie? Is it Safdie brothers?
The Safdie brothers or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did Good Time with Robert Pattinson, which might be my favorite A24 film.
I never saw it, so I honestly, I'm in your boat here. I actually didn't see this one. I've heard good things about it. I know Pattinson's really supposed to be really fantastic in the film. I just never. There's so many A24 films. That's the thing. I just love that. I just love the production company. They're really just branding out from like horror movies with Hereditary and Midsommar to like movies like this, movies like what else the hell they did? Obviously like they did The Witch, The Lighthouse, Hereditary.
They also did that movie Room.
Lobster. Room. Yeah. So they did a lot of these, I like the whole. Did they do the Florida Project?
I'm not sure.
And I think they did The Favorite, if I'm not mistaken. A24 do The Favorite from last year. I'm pretty sure because Yorgos Lanthimos is the one that directed that. And he directed a couple of those other films, like The Lobster and The Killing of a Sacred Deer. And I'm pretty sure those movies were A24. So I'm guessing The Favorite was A24. That was a gambling guy.
So they did Moonlight, Lady Bird,
Lady Bird,
Hereditary, The Lobster, Ex Machina.
Was Florida Project on there?
No, I didn't see the whole list, but those were just ones that popped up to me.
But what I'm trying to say is I really just enjoy the
variety.
The production company. I like they're doing all sorts of different things.
This was done by A24 and the Safdie brothers, who, man, these brothers are maybe my favorite directors working today.
I mean, yeah, like I said, I didn't see the Robert Pattinson one. I mean, this film was good. So I'm curious to see what they have, in store for us. But even like with like Ari Aster and the two movies that he did with, Hereditary and Midsommar, you're really like curious to see what these like young filmmakers are going to do.
Oh yeah.
So I'm looking forward to just A24 in general. A24 has been putting out solid stuff.
Oh yeah. Kind of a background, like historical facts. I've been doing a lot of research on this film, like behind the scenes discussions, talks.
Yeah.
Because the movie is very intriguing to me. But apparently the Safdie brothers started working on this 10 years ago.
Which would make sense. Yeah, which would make sense because Kevin Garnett obviously has been retired for a handful of years. So that was my first indication, just timeline wise. When he played for Boston, I think he retired in 2011 or 2012 or something like that. Later on, he played a couple seasons with Brooklyn after.
I don't know about basketball, but
what I'm saying is his highlight of his career obviously was playing and winning a championship with the Boston Celtics. So that's why I knew the time frame on that one. Because obviously he was still playing for Boston.
The film itself is set in 2012. So even if they did work on it last year, the setting makes sense anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
But apparently they had the role made for Adam Sandler. Like they wanted to work with him. They wanted him to play Howard. That was always a lock.
Which would make sense because you think of a jeweler. Usually they're Jewish. Obviously Adam Sandler's Jewish. New York. He's true blue, blooded New York. So obviously this kind of fits his whole entire fits him as a person. So I really think that they did a great job, obviously tailoring this movie towards Adam Sandler.
Yeah, and they went to Adam Sandler early script development. He passed because I think he was doing one of his Netflix films or something like that at the time. So his production team passed on it. They did a lot of rewrites and rescripts and things like that. And then Adam Sandler signed on, I think 2 years ago, and they started filming on it.
Okay.
At that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, in this movie they used a lot of unknown actors at the time. Still,
there was a couple that I recognized, but outside of that, though, obviously we knew Idina Menzel was his wife, so we obviously know her.
Yeah.
From obviously Rent and Frozen.
Yeah.
But Yeah, but outside of that though, really like unnamed, no name actors and actresses.
Yeah, especially Julia Fox, who plays his mistress in this movie.
Yeah, she's fantastic in this film.
She's incredible. This is her first feature film.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and you wouldn't know it. I mean,
no.
I wouldn't know. She really holds her own in the film. Yeah.
So kind of just like a background on it. So let's get into what this movie is actually about. And it's really hard to explain, but Russ, you want to try to help me out with the
yeah, it's pretty much about a jeweler. So Howard, played by Adam Sandler, is a jeweler in New York City, and he pretty much has a gambling problem. Or just a money problem in general. And pretty much what people do is they come to him, obviously, and then the money that he makes from that, he'll turn around and like use it for other things. So he's never really he's not doing the things you're supposed to do with your money. So like case in point, in the film, we see that he finds this gem that's supposed to be, he thinks is worth almost probably over $1 million. So he thinks this is going to be his cash ticket. Like this thing is going to be what really sets him up for the rest of his life. And so Kevin Garnett comes in, the basketball player, obviously from the
played himself, which is funny.
Yeah, like Minnesota Timberwolves, Kevin Garnett, Boston Celtics, Brooklyn Nets, Kevin Garnett comes in, and his buddy kind of like works side and side with Adam Sandler. His friend's the one that does. He's the one that does sells the watches or whatever.
Yeah. Well, his whole thing is Howard uses him to bring customers
other people in, yeah.
And then he get like big names in. Like he brings big names in, and then he gets a cut of whatever the profit is at the end.
Yeah, and obviously, and then Adam Sandler's basically trying to say, hey, listen, like you didn't.
All right.
But yeah, his buddy obviously takes a cut of what he brings into Adam Sandler. But I guess the whole thing I'm trying to set up is the fact that Adam Sandler has this opportunity. Kevin Garnett's really in love with this gemstone or whatever, and he feels like he can get,
isn't it?
And it has like multicolors, and it's like really pretty. And Kevin Garnett is like pretty much obsessed and transfixed on this, and he wants this. And Howard's character kind of uses it to his advantage. So what he does is he on loan gives him the rock or whatever, and then he gives him his NBA championship ring with the Celtics
as collateral.
As collateral. So what does he do? Obviously, you should probably just keep it. But Howard's character is just so transfixed on money, and he's just like I feel like he constantly robs from one to give to another.
Mm-hmm.
So what he does is he pawns it to get money, and then with that money, he wants to go ahead and place a bet, which we find out later works. The bet actually happens, but his bookie or whatever didn't place the bet because Howard's pretty much like a screw up, and he owes everybody money.
Yeah, wasn't the guy who cut off the bet his brother-in-law?
I forget. I just know that he put a bet down, and he parlayed a lot of things because the more you put together, and I've parlayed before in sports, just like not that deep. Like he's like going like the winner, who's going to get the tip, who's going to win the opening tip off, points, like how many rebounds is he going to have? Like is he going to go double digits in rebounds? Like it's pretty intrinsic.
It's deep.
Yeah, but the thing is, the whole gist of this film is Howard has to rob from one to give to another. He's constantly doing this. He's robbing from one, giving to another, but his hands are so full in different bags that he just can't help himself. And it's constant, like you're sitting there like, it's a constant panic attack of a movie. You're like, oh my God, this guy is just in over his head.
You're so on the edge of your seat the entire movie. It doesn't let you go.
No, it's like you're hooked from the minute it starts. Like a lot of people, there were some reviews I read that people didn't like this film. Like I seen on Facebook, some of these people didn't like the film, but like to me, it's like this really showcases Adam Sandler as an actor.
And I bet you they didn't like it because of the ending, which we'll get to. But I bet you that's the reason why.
But to me, I knew the ending was going to happen. Like if you follow films in general, you kind of understand that the lifestyles that you live and the lifestyle, you kind of reap what you sow type thing. And you're in so deep. So stuff like that doesn't really surprise me.
It surprised me, but
no, because I kind of figured that was going to happen. But the whole entire film, you're kind of rooting for Howard to get his shit together. But it's like it's a constant like battle. And then he has a wife, Idina Menzel, who they are so distant and far apart from one another. He is pretty much in his own little world, but he has this mistress, and she knows about it too, which is really weird. But yet he still sees her, but she's more of the materialistic type person. She's just with Howard because I think he had money, obviously, at the time that they were together, and he was more successful. I think this is like the downward spiral of his.
Oh, really? Really?
Well, what I'm saying is because the whole Idina Menzel's character just reminds me of somebody who's more transfixed on money. You know what I mean?
Oh, you mean
his wife in this film.
His wife, not his mistress.
Yeah, not his mistress. No, his mistress obviously likes that, but she really deeply, really loves Howard for him.
And that's the one thing I actually like that they kind of made a twist on. Because normally it's like, oh, the wife loving wanted the mistress want to offer the money.
She's cold. Yeah, she's a very cold wife. And you can see why Howard has gone to this mistress for love and affection that he's not getting at home. He's not getting respected by his wife at all. His wife thinks he's a joke. His mistress, Julia, I think really just kind of looks up to him. But then again, you have this other, then you're wrestling around with her. You see the age gap between the two. They're at that party where The Weeknd, where she's in a bathroom stall with The Weeknd making out or whatever, and he catches her. But you kind of understand she's doing this out of a place where she's really trying to help them out as a whole. She's trying to help her career. And I get it because Howard, I think, has just been so hurt in the past that he takes that as a fact that like he is trying, like she's trying to like, use him pretty much. And that's what you think at the beginning of the film.
And then you realize, wait, like, because she was like, no, I was doing it for the business, which kind of makes sense in a way.
Because you're trying to set up your clientele. And I get it. You're doing it a different way. But when nobody knows you and you're trying to get ahead and I'm sure this happens a lot in the, the acting industry or just anything in general, like, to get to break through, you have to kind of, sometimes you put yourself out there literally in the literal sense, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
But we really see like the whole thing with Julia, like when she comes in with like her lingerie and stuff like that, you're like, oh my God, she's gonna literally cheat on Howie's character, and Howie's in the closet, like texting her, what are you wearing and stuff like that. But she's telling him the truth, and you're like, wow, wait a minute, she really likes him. Like she's not, you're not. So I think her intentions are good. I think she just really, she's young. She's younger. You see the age gap between the two characters for sure.
The chemistry between them two is actually really damn good. Like when they're on screen,
I like it. Yeah.
It feels like that's the one thing in Howard's life that feels like that's going the right way right now.
Yeah, because everything else you see is a complete downward spiral. Like his family life, he just can't. He's not there. Like when he goes to his daughter's play or whatever like that, he's really not there because he is being followed by a couple of like hitmen or whatever, or mobster gangsters guys or whatever who they owe money to, who he owes money to. Again, a common thread in this theme of the film that you'll see. He owes everybody money, and he's constantly robbing from one, giving to another. But he's spreading himself out so thin that obviously it's going to come to a head.
Yeah. So let's get into more of like the middle of the movie, and that's when shit really starts to get really bad for Howard. Because after he gets the ring, I think they try to do something kind of like superstitious in this movie with
Kevin Garnett and the Stone. You mean?
Yeah, with KG and the opal that he had. Because it's like when he has the opal, he's like shooting 30 points a game, and then he loses it, and he can barely get 10, 15 points in a game.
But you see Howie's character uses this to his advantage. And the other thing is why he needs it so bad is he has put it up for auction.
Yep.
And he kind of appraised it himself for almost $1 million. So he knows that if he can get, X amount of dollars, he can really pay off all the people that he owes and still have money to actually kind of like get the hell out and just be done and live a happy life.
That's the one thing I do want to bring up since we're all the money issue.
Yeah.
I don't think even if everything went as well and he won the big bet at the end or whatever like that, I don't think he would have money left. He wouldn't pay off loans. He like Howard seems like the type of guy who even when he wins big, he wants to do more because gambling has that more like it's the
I know, it is. But both of these bets that he put down, the one that the bookie didn't do, and then the one at the end, he won the one in the end. He had it. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, I think he knew. You kind of root for him to kind of like see the light.
Do.
Yeah. Because you want him to be like, okay, especially with the first bet that he puts down, you're like, oh my God, he hit it. But you find out that they never placed the bet, and you're like, oh my God, like this guy could have won some serious money, because parlaying is hard when you put all these other stipulations into a parlay bet. Like if you're just betting, like case in point, like the 49ers play tonight. Okay, so say for instance, parlaying it would be like, okay, the 49ers are going to win. Jimmy Garoppolo, the quarterback's going to throw for at least 250 yards and throw for 2 touchdowns. Russell Wilson for the Seahawks is going to throw an interception in the game. 49ers are going to win the coin toss. Like you have all these different things that you're parlaying all together, which makes the odds harder and harder to actually happen.
Yeah.
And that's the whole idea of parlaying. So when he does this and it happens, you're like, wow, he could make, and he put some serious money on this bet. And you hope that this is going to be a payoff. He's going to win, and then he can pay off his debts to like these different people, and then him and Laura can have their their own thing. He can leave his wife, and they can live happily ever after.
Yeah, I just like the way I'm seeing it is like, even it because he does win the big bet at the end.
Yeah,
which we'll get to the end. We're kind of more talking broadly about it, but I don't see Howard as the guy who's like, okay, I'm gonna stop gambling. I'm gonna just save my money that I have. He's gonna take that money and bet it all, and he could lose all of it. Because he's someone who likes the high of gambling so much. You see this throughout the movie, like the parlay scene, for example.
Yeah,
the reason that they cut it off was because they knew, yes, he won, but he was gonna blow it and not pay them back.
Well, yeah, and that's why they never placed the bet. I get it. But the parlaying, like we have obviously mentioned it, it's harder to happen because you need all these other things to go well. And that makes it harder. That makes the bet harder. But in the flip side of it is the harder that bet is to happen, the bigger the payoff is. Because if this does happen, in order that you think everything's going to happen, you get a bigger payout. So
no, I also think the parlay scene, they were just pissed off that they used that he used their money.
And I can see that, but again, it's a catch-22 because it's like, well, if they would have just let him place a bet, they could have got their money back too. So it's like,
but they could also lose it. Like they could,
but they already out money. So I mean, really, what more? I mean, you're going to be out money, but you were already out money to begin with. So why not? Like I get it. And if that was the case, then they could have just killed him sooner. Like just have that be done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But the way I'm saying it is like Howard seems like a guy that really what he lives for is betting. He lives for that high of like, oh, I won, or that anticipation of, am I going to win or I'm going to lose? That's the way he lives his life. He's surrounded by that now.
I think it's
I don't see him like quitting or like taking that money and saving it or doing whatever. I just see him really going more into a downward spiral of keep betting and losing.
Well, I also see that he likes the gambling, but he also likes the limelight on him. Like he likes being a well-known jeweler. He likes the people coming up to him and talking to him, feeling important, feeling wanted, feeling popular.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he likes that. You can see those scenes when he's interacting with his clients in the jewelry store when KG's there.
Yeah,
he feels like he's like a big shit, like pretty much like talking about these different things, and he wants to kind of show off his jewelry and stuff like that. I mean, but he's trying to hustle. He's trying to make the money. So I mean, you can see that side of Adam Sandler's character too in this film.
Yeah. So let's get to the weekend scene.
Yeah.
They're in a nightclub. They're having fun. They're doing the songs. That's when Howard goes up to who is
Howard goes up to the bouncer, I think. There's a bouncer there.
No, I'm talking about beforehand because he goes up to the guy played by is it Lakeith?
Are you talking about Lakeith Stanford?
Yeah, Stanford.
He's the one in Get Out.
Yeah. He's also in this movie too.
Yeah.
DeMonte's his name.
Yeah.
Assistant. Yeah. He goes up to him, and they start having a shoving match. I think
Yeah, because that's his friend. That's his good friend, right?
Yeah, that's the one that breaks in the
watches and stuff like that. Yeah.
The high ballers.
Well, he feels kind of blackballed by the fact that I don't think he wasn't invited to the party to begin with. I don't think.
No, he was there.
What? No, Adam Sandler wasn't invited. I don't think.
I think he was, but I think he just.
But he's trying to distance himself from Sandler's character in this film.
Yeah,
in this scene.
Says, I'm reading my notes. It says Howard ends up crashing a party hosted by The Weeknd.
Yeah, so he's pretty much like he's not invited, but I don't know. Is he invited or is he not invited?
I think he was invited to the concert, not the after party. I think he crashed the party.
So we see a scene where he is trying to get in. He is talking to the bouncer. The bouncer is not letting him in, but he sees somebody he knows,
and they
let him in. And then that's when he's pretty much pissed at his friend because Garnett still has this ruby stone that he's not letting go, and he has to turn around and put this up on auction in a couple of days, and he doesn't have anything to go by, and they also need to see it obviously to verify and appraise it. So he's kind of really it's like it's a race against the time here, pretty much. The clock's ticking, and Sandler really needs to obviously show that he has the gem, and on top of it, they need time to kind of sit there and get their experts in to appraise it to see how much this thing's really worth.
Yeah, and that's when we get into the bathroom with Julia and The Weeknd and things like that. Which this is a really good scene too, because of course Howard storms out. Of course he's pissed. I mean, I'd be pissed off too.
I mean, you can see the hurt. That's like he's rock bottom at this point. Like everything he has going is really down and out. Like this is the lowest I think Howard is in the whole entire film. She's trying to get in the car. He's like, you know what, get out. Like he's trying to get into a taxi or something or get into a car. He's like, get out, screw you, get out. Like, get your shit out of the apartment. I'm done. Because he's also renting out this apartment for him and her to pretty much, do their thing in. And he's paying for it too. So she has a free room and board too. So he feels really hurt by it, and he's like, I want you out, get your shit out of the apartment, blah 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 blah.
Doesn't she send him a link on his phone, and it's like a free space, but it's the exact same space they were living or something like that?
It was no. I think what was going to happen was I thought from what I saw, it's a Craigslist ad, and I thought she put it up on Craigslist that there's a free place to crash or something like that. From what I gathered, so he was going to have some kind of strangers in the Craigslist thing from the Craigslist ad. That's what I was gathering from it. I'm not 100% sure. From what
either that or she was like free place, like.
Yeah, and I think she was trying to advertise it that she wants like basically some like strangers to go there and live, and as kind of like a get back at them for one last jab or whatever,
Though I actually like how they don't. In this movie, they don't like have this fight or whatever last so long. Because in some movies, the couple or whatever fights, and it goes on way too long.
Yeah, I mean this one, it's the timing of this. It's short, but yet you feel it, and you feel what Howard's feeling. You kind of feel what Julia's feeling too, because you're kind of like, or Julie's feeling, because you kind of like, you kind of like side with both characters. You understand that she's only trying to do it to further her career. I get it. You're still like in love or you're, dating or whatever with Howard. And it's just like, but Howard feels that she's betraying him.
Mm-hmm.
And, with his marriage in shambles, with all the stuff with in debt, all the money that he's in, everybody's after him for money.
Just piling on.
It's all piling on top of his shoulders. And this is where he hits rock bottom, just because the one thing that he has that's good in his life has betrayed him, and he has literally nothing in this scene. And I think this is where you feel the reality of everything. This is when it hits rock bottom. This is as low as it can go for him right here.
Yep. And we can go into the auction scene itself,
which I love this. I love this whole premise where they were going to. So he brings in his own. It's his dad. Is Judd Hirsch his dad? Judd Hirsch is the actor that plays the gentleman that he has bidding for him. Is it his dad?
Billy, I think his name.
Is it his dad?
Not sure. Let me see if I can find it.
I want to say it's Howard's dad. I'm not 100% sure. It's somebody's father because Judd Hirsch is an older actor. You may recognize him, obviously.
He convinces his father-in-law.
Father-in-law. Okay, I knew he was somebody's dad. Okay, so that's Idina Menzel's father. But you obviously recognize him from he was in Independence Day. He was in the TV show Taxi.
Really?
Back in the day with Christopher Lloyd and Danny DeVito and everybody.
Nice.
But so they set up this premise where they are going to have Howard's father-in-law is going to be bidding to jack that bid up because what we find out that we really didn't mention is the gemstone that he had in his head thought was worth like almost $1 million has been appraised at almost like I think between 150 and 200,000.
Yeah,
which is completely a shock to him, and he tries. I love this whole scene where he tries to get the note out of the brochures that they're going to be passing out.
Yeah.
So he calls the lady and bitches at the lady. He's like, your guy appraised this at this. He goes, this thing's clearly worth almost $1 million. You only have it appraised between 150 and 200,000. Blah blah blah. And so,
by the way, the voice on the phone, is Tilda Swinton.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah, nice. Which she's always a good actress and everything. She's into, so pretty much here at the auction, what they're going to do is Howie's pretty much going to have his father-in-law jack that that bid up because he knows KG wants this stone. So he's like, you know what? If we can get that, if we can make up for a little bit of this money, and he knows that there's somebody that he doesn't really recognize, and this guy really wants this stone too. Wait a minute, so maybe I'll pay more. So we go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. He finally calls it in at like 170 or 180,000, I think.
200,000.
Or did he go up to 200,000? Okay, so it is sold, but KG doesn't try to overbid the father-in-law. So the father-in-law is stuck with this stone. So again, this is typical Howard. So he's BSing with his father-in-law. His father-in-law is kind of pissed at I knew this was going to happen. So he spent $200,000 on this thing, and he's out $200,000 in this stupid gem. So he's going out to the limo or to taxi or whatever to walk him out. He goes, "Can I have the stone?" He just gives him the stone. So he's like, "Here, take the stone." And again, so what he's trying to do right after is try to call KG to arrange a sale of this gem
for $500,000, I think, right?
No, I think he sells for the 170. I thought.
Yeah, the 175 that he offered.
175 that he was already going to pay him. He's like, he sees it here at this point. He's like, you know what? This is all I'm going to get for this. This thing's really not worth as much as I thought it was. And
it's way more of a pain in my ass right now. So
and it is. So I just need to get rid of it. So he sells it to KG, and then he uses that $175,000 that he will entrust to Julia to go ahead and place this massive bet. Because he knows that, Garnett has this stone now, so he will be playing out of his mind, and everything's on the table. I think this is a Game 6 or Game 7 of the playoffs, and he knows that Kevin Garnett's going to have a big game, and him in possession of this stone is going to be his moneymaker. So he go ahead and he parlays all this stuff. That's when the three guys come into the jewelry store to pretty much. It's like
a scene where, because this actually ties into the ending, so we probably should talk about that. Where KG and them come back to return the opal, the gem, and they get stuck into the lock. The lock won't let them in.
Yeah.
So they have to use what is it? It's, crushed up metal.
Crushed up metal and they toy around with it to try to get it.
Metal shaving is what they use.
Yeah.
You had the pipe that goes in between it.
Yeah, to get it open. Yeah,
which that comes into play towards the end of the film with our third act.
Yeah,
so
and back to and jumping back to where you were saying. So the three guys come to collect pretty much the money that is owed to them, but Howie knows this may be it. This may be his last shot to get this money and do gamble it. Yeah, what's that?
Sorry about that. Think this is right after Julia and Howard make up, right?
Yeah, they have made up, and
Which, by the way, this scene really shows Adam Sandler's range as dramatic actor.
Yeah, for sure. The whole movie does.
Breakdown point. He's like, I don't know what to do. I'm lost. I'm losing. Nothing ever goes right for me.
Yeah.
And they're both crying. They're both kind of. But this is also where KG calls. and that's where kind of that shimmer of hope.
Yeah.
Like he's at rock bottom, and then you have that shimmer of hope of KG. Like, okay, I'm here with the 175 grand.
Yeah. So let's go ahead. So with that money that he gets, he then in turn knows that he needs to place a bet on it to try to obviously up it more. Which at this point, the 175,000, you might as well you already owe that to your father-in-law, so he already sees it like shit. I'm already down, so I have to gamble it to make more money, obviously. So this is where he wants to place the bet. This is where he wants to parlay all this stuff to happen in the playoff game. He knows that KG is going to be a sure lock for all these things because he has his power back now. Superman doesn't have his kryptonite anymore. He knows that he's going to be powerful again, and he's going to kick ass in the game. So he puts his big parlay down, and he knows that the guys are after him. So he tells Julia to go ahead and sneak out, go to the casino, and put money down. And he gives him a list. He gives her a list of things that she needs to do with this parlay, the specific things that she wants to that he wants to bet on. So we know that he has placed the bet for $175,000. Now the three henchmen come in, and as they are leaving, I believe they leave him.
They leave.
And then they're stuck in the door between the whole time.
It's bulletproof glass. It's a bulletproof glass. It's like a door.
Yeah, it's a door.
There's a door, and then there's a glass door.
And you have to be buzzed to get in. It's just like a typical jewelry store setup. And I like this scene where Howard's watching the game, and he pretty much has the other guys that are sitting in the room watching the game with him. So I think that's kind of funny, but he knows that all this stuff that he needs to happen, I think they're slowly getting it too. They're like, oh crap, he may pull this off.
And by the way, actually, sorry about keep interrupting you.
No, you're fine.
But there was a scene right as the game is beginning, or right before, where Adam Sandler is talking to KG, and he's like, look, these dudes, online have you down. Like, what are you going to do about that?
Yeah, he's pretty much trying to, talk him up, saying, listen.
He doesn't have the open anymore. He's like, you know what? If I give this guy a pep talk, he's going to do even more to prove that he was wrong.
Well, because KG is a competitor. If you've seen him on the court, I think, our listeners or whatever have seen him on the court, he's a super fiery competitive person. And he was like that his whole entire career. Like, this is a guy banging on his chest and, you can tell he is passionate about the sport. And Sandler knows that his love of the game, it's like, look, this is what Vegas has, you scoring, you rebounding, blah, blah, blah. Here it is right here. This is what everybody thinks you're going to do. Like, this is all you're going to do, meaning you could do so much more. And this is the scene where I think he kind of gives him that pep talk. So obviously,
I also thought he was talking to himself as well. He's like, look at these haters. Like, they think they know you.
Yeah.
I think he was actually talking about himself and
kind of both, I think, in a situation. I think he was kind of putting himself in KG's spot, talking about obviously his life, but obviously trying to relate to KG to bring it full circle. But I like the scene where he does that. And then obviously, like I said, he's already given the money to Julia to go place the bet. She places the bet and parlays all this stuff. And again, now the henchmen come in and they're locked in the door, the bulletproof glass and everything, while they're watching Howard watch the game. And they're getting into it. Well, you can kind of see them kind of like, oh, shit, this might actually happen.
The stepfather is, or the father-in-law, father-in-law is, or...
No, it's not the father-in-law. Father-in-law is the one that bit... the bit on the stone.
It's hold on.
He's related to him. I can't think of how.
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Is it his brother-in-law?
Let's see.
Does brother-in-law sound from brother-in-law?
Brother-in-law, I believe. Yeah, brother.
Yeah. Okay. So his brother-in-law.
His brother-in-law is starting to okay, maybe he knows what he's doing.
But he knows that if he pulls this off, damn, he's going to be loaded into the money, and on top of it, I think he'll have enough to pay off his debts. And so, this is really big for for Howard and for them too.
Yeah, and this scene is where everybody in my theater at least were white knuckling it, because we were like, come on, again, you're rooting for Adam Sandler even though you know he's an asshole.
Yeah, because this is the moment though the payoff happens. He wins. You're glad. You're excited and happy.
Yep.
And then you think that the henchmen are going to leave. It's done. They know they're going to get their money back, and then this is where it.
But this is where Adam Sandler, and I actually was watching a review, and they're like, "This is the scene where Howard takes the one big gamble that cost him his life. He wanted one last gamble. He brings him in, thinking he's going to be like, okay, hey, I'll pay you off. And what happens? Phil shoots him right in the face.
Which I think is stupid, though, because like that. This is the part that drives me nuts. I get it. Like I knew this. I knew he was going to die. But like to me, I'm like, dude, like here it is right here. Like the money's here. Like you literally have seen it. Like he's rooting for it the whole entire time. He's talking about what he parlayed and everything. Like Howard's won this money, and on top of it, so now what you're gonna do is you're literally gonna kill him, and you're gonna be out all that money. Like you're never gonna get it back. So,
because remember, he had people go to search for Julia.
Yeah, but my thing is, I don't think but to me, I don't think Julia's gonna pay them off with that money.
She might, especially
I don't know because like
someone is gunning for her and her family. She might. I think that's what he was thinking. He was like, well, if this asshole bets this $1.2 million and he loses, then we're out way more money than he was going to pay us to begin with.
But see, I thought at the end when they when they escort her out to the limo and stuff like that, and I thought for a second, I thought they were going to kill Julia.
So did I. I was like, oh no.
For a second, I thought they were going to kill Julia and have it to be where like they both die and then that they both can't be together. And I was like, oh, I hope they don't do this. But when you see her getting escorted out,
like the new Queen Pin or something like that, she's in the limo with the money, things like that, and you're like, okay, like.
But I think she's literally taking this and she's going to live a better life and be done. Like I think basically Howard's love for her has
protected her
life, has protected her and furthered her life for the better. And I think she's set for the rest of her life. I don't think she's going to have to worry
either that or. She gets back into town and she gives the money up to get them off her back.
Or she can use that money to fund what she was trying to get done and go into and do that as a career and actually have that funding and have that backing and not have to worry about sleeping around to get ahead because you have the backing now and you can forward your own career and make your own path. And I think that's kind of where I was getting how the ending was going to happen. That's why I thought maybe she doesn't pay this debt off because it's not really her debt. It's his. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then his brother-in-law is like, what the hell are you doing? He's the only one who would actually have some common sense.
Well, because he knows. He's like, shit, like, what are you doing? Like, you killed this guy and he won the bet. Like,
not only that, but you killed my brother-in-law. Like,
yeah. And he was going to.
Personal, too.
It is. And he was going to pay, he was maybe going to pay. You don't know if he was or not. I'd like to think that he wins that money. They follow him, or they all like gang up together and they walk him to the casino to cash out, and then take their cut or whatever, and then be done. I thought that's kind of how that would go if they hadn't shot him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
the movie ends. Howard is dead because he got shot right in the face.
Yep.
And it's immediately too, so that's more what shocks me is like how quick it was.
It's super sudden. Like he literally throws the gun to his head and shoots him, and like he's done. He's dead.
Yeah.
So there's not a whole lot of time to like process it.
Yeah, you're like, hold on.
You're like, shit, this just really just happened. So it's one of those things where
in my theater, like they're watching the movie, and all of a sudden, like the gun goes off, and the lady behind me goes, "What the hell?"
Yeah, I mean it's super sudden, and I think I like that aspect that they went that route. Just like I kind of figured that he was going to die. Like I said earlier in the review, it was one of those things where you can only, live on the edge so long until it all comes back to you. You know what I mean? And he had literally so much. He's like trying to, he has his hands in so many different pockets and so many different bags, and like, it has to catch up to you at one point. It has to. Like you want it to happen to where he's like, okay, pay these people off, live your life, and be done. You know what I mean? But it just like you said, like kind of at the end, it said that one extra gamble. But to me, it's like I wish that the guy who shot him would have seen it as, well, shit, he just hit for this big money. Now we can get paid back, and then maybe.
I also feel like the guy who shot him, his name is Phil.
Yeah,
I think he was just pissed off. He was pissed off at Howard because Howard just kept pushing his buttons.
Well, that it was a runaround too with the money. Yeah.
So I think that was just an act of revenge because he was just fed up with like, okay, dude, you went around me the first time.
Yeah.
We had to kick your ass with the money. You did bet the money that you had to give us again.
Yeah.
Then you locked us in a bulletproof case. Then, like, it's just
But you literally had front row ticket to see his bet pay off though too. On top of it, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's like
also,
yeah,
it's more blind rage. I think. I don't think it was like even calculated. I think it was blind rage.
Because he was getting the runaround. Yeah, he was tired of getting the runaround.
Yeah, so I can also see him just being like tired of his bullshit. Like,
I agree. Like I said, I hate the fact that they killed his character off. I knew they were going to. I was just like, I really didn't want them to. I kind of wanted to have a happier ending, but I get it. Like, I mean, it makes sense. I accept the fact that that's how they ended it. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Because like I said, like previous, I said, when you're doing that, you're dabbling with all that stuff, and you're living on the edge, so like narrow. It's only a matter of time before all that stuff comes back and hits you harder. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you kind of realize it. You're like, yeah, this makes sense.
Definitely. There's one thing I do want to bring up in this review is I can't see anybody else playing the role of Howard than Adam Sandler.
No, I agree, and I'm so happy. Like, I've always been pro Adam Sandler, even through the ups and the downs, because I even met the guy.
Really?
Yeah, when we were in Savannah, Georgia. This was when the summer I think Ella was born, so she was a brand new. She was probably like 6 or 7 months old.
Aw.
We were walking around the shops in Savannah, Georgia, and I looked in the corner of my eye. I see this guy in a red shirt with sunglasses on. I'm like, I looked over at my wife and said, "Dude, that's Adam Sandler." She's like, "What?" I said, "Honey, that's Adam Sandler." She like didn't believe me. I said, "Babe," I said, "I'm telling you right now, it's Adam Sandler." She's like, "Well, why don't you say something?" I'm like, "Well, what the hell am I going to say? Like, I don't know what to say." I said, "You're the one with our daughter in your hand. I think you'd be a little bit more easier to approach with you." You know what I mean? With you seeing. So she went up and sure as shit, yeah, it was him. And we ended up getting a big picture together, all of us. That's awesome. Like, I had my hand on his shoulder during the picture, and he said, "Oh yeah, your daughter's beautiful, blah blah blah," and left. Really nice guy, super nice guy. Like, literally didn't really have to do that.
Yeah.
But he was completely gracious. We did it like really, tastefully. I said, big fan of your movies and stuff like that, and just kind of left it at that. But what I'm trying to say is the resurgence of his career. Like, I've grown up with him, like in my life as an actor, with Billy Madison, with Happy Gilmore, Waterboy, Big Daddy. Little Nicky, I wasn't a big fan of, but I thought Click wasn't. I mean, Click pulled on your heartstrings.
I like Click, actually.
Click was really underrated. Yeah, but then you get movies like his duds, like Bedtime Stories or Jack and Jill, and like he's made some bad ones. And it's funny though, one of those other movies I was talking about was filmed in Savannah, Georgia too. I don't know if that was during the time that we met him. I wonder. The one, it was filmed in Savannah. It was no. Take it back. It wasn't. It was the one with Jennifer Aniston. What the hell was it called? I forget. Jennifer Aniston's in it.
Is it the newest one or is it the?
It's a newer Netflix when it came out last.
Oh, is it Murder Mystery?
Murder Mystery. That's it. Yeah, it was filmed. Some of it was filmed in Savannah, Georgia. It's right off of River Street. Exactly where that's at. Like some of that scene at the end of it, we like walk down it like all the time. But yeah, like, and then even like when Paul Thomas Anderson got him in Punch Drunk Love to really show a little bit more of his kind of basically honing in what he's already good at. He has the comedic chops, but on top of it, you have to have that rage that he has sometimes. But he possesses in all of his movies, but he uses it usually as comedy. So like these duds that like some of these other movies that like are flops, and that people say, "Oh, he's washed up, he sucks."
No,
like here it is. Like it's screw you. He's back. He's back with his good serious role.
Formulaic, but
it's dated. I mean, but it's the same type of thing Farley did. And I'm saying that just because Farley and him basically were on SNL together, but Farley did the same exact thing. Like his Tommy Boy thing cut into Black Sheep, cut into, Beverly Hills Ninja, like the yelling and screaming, hey, just like even the Van Down by the River skit. It's all about the yelling, and that was their delivery. That's how they they got laughs. And to me, it's like we didn't really see a side of Adam Sandler until Paul Thomas Anderson pulled it out of him in Punch Drunk Love. And now we see another, a shot of it here at Uncut Gems, which I love the film, and I'm really glad to see that he potentially should. I hope he does get an Oscar nomination.
At least a nomination.
At least a nomination. I think he could win. I really
could win. He could be one of the front runners, but man, this year had a lot of excellent acting.
So it's gonna be hard because I love the guy in Richard Jewell. I think he should get an Academy Award nomination for
Adam Driver in Marriage Story.
Adam Driver in Marriage Story. Yeah, and I don't think The Irishman's gonna if The Irishman gets a vote, I think they base it on. I don't know if it'd be a supporting. So I don't see them competing for a main actor. But you're going to have they're saying no. I think they're really trying to push Pesci. I think for a best supporting. Yeah,
I can see it.
But if
here's going to be a. I'm not sure how big of a hot take it's going to be, but him as Howard, Adam Sandler as Howard.
Yeah.
Might be my favorite role he's ever done in his career.
It's hard for me because I've seen so many of Adam Sandler's films, and I literally have taken the 25 plus years of his career. I've seen like damn near everything he's been in, minus a couple of the Netflix movies.
I just think there's a lot of range in this one movie that he brings in. That
there's a lot. I'm definitely saying that this is more of the. This absolutely beats Punch Drunk Love for serious side of acting. For sure. But there's a couple of different, he's like an onion. There's a couple of different layers you have to peel. Like his comedic, you can't beat Happy Gilmore or Billy Madison, like his classics like that.
I'm talking about more of
for a serious role, I take this over Punch Drunk Love.
Well,
absolutely. I agree with that.
I'm just talking about this might be my favorite.
To showcase him as how serious as an acting. Yeah, I would say that. I could say that. But I'm not saying it as like my favorite role ever of Adam Sandler. But I'm saying, out of serious role, the only two that he's done, I say this is better than Punch Drunk Love.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah.
But also, the reason why I couldn't see anyone else playing this role is because if it was anybody else, they would play it super serious, and you would just see the asshole side of Howard. You wouldn't root for him. Adam Sandler has just this likability.
But I think it's because of the fact that he's had this huge, long career of being a comedic actor. That's why. I think that's why it suits him.
Yeah, and because it's Adam Sandler, it's like, okay, this guy's likable by himself. But then the Safdie brothers brings in a little, comedy dialogue, and you really kind of...
But those play to Adam Sandler's strengths, though. Exactly. And that's why I think he's perfect for the role. He can do that, yelling and being loud and stuff like that, but he's still being Adam Sandler. So it's not like he's going and he's doing something he's never done before. Yeah. They're just honing it and twisting it into a serious role. And I think they do it great. I think he does a great job in it. And I'm really hoping that he gets. Really hope the Academy sees and appreciates the fact that this guy really has a really memorable role in this film.
Yeah, this is a movie I definitely want to go back and rewatch.
Yeah,
that way I can see kind of the nuance in it. Which is another thing that the A24 does, is they make you want to go back and rewatch their movies.
And that's, and I always enjoy that, I always, when I saw Midsommar, I saw the director's cut because I wanted to see the extra 20 minutes that was in it.
Is that out now?
It was out in the theater. Midsommar's out on Blu-ray, but the director's cut's not. If you want the director's cut, you either have to get it imported or get it on iTunes. iTunes has the
I think the director's cut going to be on that new Apple Plus service or whatever.
The Apple Plus service has the director's cut. Yeah. But I'm not getting Apple Plus just for that. I mean, I like the director's cut. Yeah. I would download it on iTunes for $16, $15 or whatever before I subscribe to that. Because I already have everything
for a 7-day free trial just to watch it. And then just
well, I mean, I would like to own it, but my thing is, it just sucks that I hate when they do that. They never release that stuff on Blu-ray. It just drives me nuts. Yeah. Just take the time, do what they used to do with the regular DVDs that came out. They had the unrated cut, they had the regular cut, and just make it. And they see money sign, and I hate that, but it is what it is. It's definitely worth the watch of the cut. Yeah.
But yeah, so. Overall, I thought this movie was incredible. This might be one of my favorite movies of the year.
This will make my top 10. I can go out on a limb and say that this will absolutely make my top 10.
It might be in my top 3. I don't know if I may put Marriage Story above it.
I'm wrestling around. Chance and I are getting ready to do our top 10. I think it'd be the first podcast of the 2020. So I'm kind of still on the fence about a lot of movies. There's so many movies that I want to get in and show some love to. So
yeah, by the way. On January 2nd, we're doing a best movies of 2019. Do you want to join in on that one?
We're the 2nd of January. If you guys do it earlier, because I'm off, I can do that.
Yeah,
because I go back to work Friday. It's the day after the first. Yeah, I'm off. I'm off New Year's Day and the day after New Year's. So I'm off the 1st and 2nd. I go back to work the 3rd. But yeah, I can absolutely do it. I could absolutely do it. I mean, it'll literally probably rehash what Chance and I are going to talk about. But but still, like I can go into a little bit more depth with like some honorable mentions and stuff that I want to show some love to. But yeah, I mean, I would consider it. I got to pull the list together right now is what I'm trying to work on. So I got to like write down all the movies I saw this year that I thought could potentially be in the top 10, and then just look at the pros and cons, weigh it out, and then kind of just make my position there. But yeah.
All right, guys. So that has been the 50-minute spoiler review for Uncut Gems. Oh my god!
What we're trying to get to, if you guys have survived 50 minutes, is basically it's a really great film.
Yes.
It's really dark. It's a different side of Adam Sandler, and you guys would really enjoy it, and you'll really see that Adam Sandler actually can be a different actor. He doesn't have to be comedy, the same type of thing. He really tested himself as an actor, and I really enjoy this film, and I really hope that the Academy really does show him some love come up here in a couple months.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I absolutely love this movie. It definitely is going to be my top 3. A movie that you want to go back and rewatch and see the little nuance about it, things you missed, things you didn't see before. Just a movie that always keeps you on the edge of your seat. You're never bored in this movie. There's never downtime in this movie. It starts at 100%, and it pretty much keeps you at 100% the entire movie. Like you're never bored.
It's pretty much like you're in the. I'll compare this to Star Wars. Like they're in a garbage compactor or whatever, and the movie's slowly going like this. And this is basically how you feel during the whole entire movie. Like the movie, it's really starting to tighten because you feel for the character, you feel for Howard. You're like, oh my god, like everything's coming in, and like you can slowly start to feel the tension, start to feel the urgency, and I love the fact that they did such a great job doing this.
This is a movie that definitely needs to be seen in theaters with an audience. That's the most fun you'll ever have this year, in my opinion. Just seeing what other people are feeling about it, seeing the reaction towards the end, looking around, kind of seeing what people are doing.
Yeah,
because this movie is it's kind of like Good Time. Good Time in a way keeps you at a high pace throughout the entirety of the movie.
Yeah,
because you're so worried about these brothers.
Yeah.
It's something always on the line. Something's always happening. Something's always in the way that it keeps the movie flowing. Like the movie's over 2 hours. This movie's over 2 hours.
Yeah, it's barely over 2 hours. I think it's like 2:05, 2:06.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel at all.
It's a pretty well paced movie.
Yeah. All right. So Russ, let's get into the closing plugs. Where do people find you online?
Yeah, you can find Hunter and I. We're actually at the beginning of the new year. We're going to really get focus on the Horoscope podcast. It's something we kind of like neglected. It's one of those things, man. We really have to. We'll get back to it. We'll hit it hard here at the new year.
We will.
You can also find me on YouTube, Notorious by Chance. I do with my good buddy and Schmodown friend Chance Ellison. We do new movie reviews, which we've been kind of slacking on that too. That we got to get back on that. But join our Facebook group, Notorious by Chance. We have a podcast where we put polls up on the Facebook group. We are going to be ready to shoot our 50th episode, and we have a special little treat for everybody for the 50th episode. Hint, hint. So you can pretty much find me there. You can find me anywhere competing in the fan leagues and just anywhere talking movies, man. I really just enjoy the community that we've really just formed, and it's like a tight-knit family, and I really enjoy it.
Yeah, that's right. We are a big family here. I love you. Thank you guys for joining us. If you did enjoy this review, hit that like button, subscribe to our TV below. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys soon. Peace.